Hello, and thank you for joining us. This is No Soundbites Allowed, and I am your host, Michael Voss, the political dragon here in our offices in the Bronx, New York. It is December 11th. It's currently about 2:30 in the afternoon. And there's an interesting question that we should be discussing as a nation and around the world. A question about where is the line between entertainment and pro-terrorism? Where is there a line between free speech and inciting violence? Sometimes it's not very clear, and we need to have that conversation. Now, this all came about because of a post that I saw today on Twitter, and I want to give it, and I did some research, I want to give it some more background. Now, before we get to that, we do want you to know we thank you for being part of our audience. We look forward to your feedback, respectful feedback, but we believe in the free speech. We believe in your right to speak about the issues that matter to you, and we hope that you will join us every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to do exactly that, to talk about the issues that affect us all. We hope you'll join us this Sunday as well. But to the point of what we're going to be speaking about today, it seems that a video game has incited a lot of backlash, and the question is it justified, and what do we do about it if it is or is not? The issue at hand is, on December 6th, Representative Ritchie Torres of the New York 15th District, my member of Congress, my representative, made a statement, and it was in reference to a game called Fursan Al-Aqsa, which is a very controversial game. Now, to be clear, the game first came out on April 18th of 2022. It's been around for quite some time now. And while it seems like there's positive reviews, very few people have actually been involved in the game. In fact, if we were to look at a real-time study of all of the coverage of the game from March 31st, 2022 until December 11th, 2024, today, we'll see that it's had an all-time peak of 24 players. It currently has about 4 players at any given moment, and that peak of 24 players was only reached within the last several days. It has been a dead game. No one had any interest in it. Nobody was playing it. So why did Congressman Ritchie Torres write about this? Why is he speaking about this game and telling Valve Corp, the owners of Steam, that distributes and sells the game internationally, why is he saying that they should ban this game? Because on December 2nd of 2024, the United Kingdom also banned this game, and Valve removed it from stores, its digital online stores in the United Kingdom, because it violated the UK counterterrorism regulations. It was found to be anti-Semitic, and more importantly, it was promoting terrorism, in this case, Hamas. Now, Representative Ritchie Torres did not get a lot of attention on December 6th when he spoke about this game. But since that time, in particular on December 10th, Congressman Torres spoke about it again, and this time he did get more traction. He did get more attention, saying that the game glorifies barbaric violence and terror against Jews. Well, many video games have violence in them, of varying types. So that is an interesting question. That brings up the First Amendment. Do you have a right to make a violent video game? We've seen consistently the answer to that is yes. There are many violent video games, and you have a right not to buy those games. And you have a right to play those games if you wish. But this game also goes on with terror against a specific type of people for a specific type of reason. That is religion. As it states in the description on Steam at this time, this is a first-person shooter that addresses Israel, specifically a nation, against Hamas. And It's from a Hamas perspective. The lead character is a member of Hamas, a terrorist organization, an internationally recognized terrorist organization. And as this terrorist in that terrorist organization, you go around killing members of Israel. But again, no one was paying attention to the game. No one was playing the game until we saw the attention driven to the game by both the United Kingdom and also here in the United States by Representative Ritchie Torres. And we can see that most recently there have been individuals who have played 1 hour, maybe 6 hours on the game, 2 hours on the game, almost no true game time, who went on only so that they can push a political, militaristic, and pro-terrorist agenda, stating that this is against Zionism, that this is a game where being part of Hamas, a terrorist organization, is being a good guy. One post that I decided to bring to your attention has received 258 comments saying that it was helpful. Some of them consider it to be a joke. 8 people found it to be funny. I don't think it is funny. It was posted on November 29th, before the United Kingdom banned the game for sale in their country and before Ritchie Torres made his first comments about the game. And what we know is he's only played the game for 6 hours, and it is a obviously and directly political statement being made. This is about politics. And in particular, this individual, and this individual, according to their profile on Steam, is a friend of the creator of the game, Nidal Najim, as well as being part of the Communist Party. Nidal Najim, the creator of this game, is very, very political. Now, mind you, he doesn't play his own game very much. Not in the 2.5 years that it's existed. But he is the solo developer of the game, and his politics seem to be very, very to the forefront of this issue. So I went even deeper, and I decided to look on Twitter. And going to Nidal's Twitter page, or X page, we see that he reposted a specific post that says, in part, that he was the son of a terrorist. Okay? That the main character is a member of Hamas, a terrorist organization. That there was an update in the game after the October 7th, 2023 massacre, the terrorist attack by Hamas in Israel. There was a follow-up update for this game which would allow players to reenact that same terror attack. This is pro-terrorist. This is beyond just being a fantasy or a outlet of anger. This is a political statement, as the entire game is a political statement from it in every description made about this game. It is about being a member of a terrorist organization, enacting a war of terror, attempting to genocide a group of people based on their religion alone, and that he is reenacting an act of terror. I don't find that to be entertainment. I agree with the tone of this tweet, that this game is inappropriate, and that there is good reason why it was blocked in the United Kingdom, which doesn't have the First Amendment. But should it be blocked in the United States? Well, the creator of the game is Brazilian, so the First Amendment doesn't apply to him or his game in Brazil. And we can see that the only time this game got any attention was directly after the attack by Hamas, and most recently as nations are banning the game, and of course we see the comments from Representative Ritchie Torres. So the question comes back to us. Should this game be banned? Should this be denounced? Is Valve required to remove this game. It's a tough conversation. We do believe in the First Amendment. We do believe in free speech. At the same time, we do not support terrorism. And this game is a statement of terrorism. This is a recruitment tool. It is a fantasy of terrorism to try and entice individuals to give support to Hamas, to have empathy with a terrorist organization and its goals of genocide. This is very much what we see coming out of Harvard and Columbia, Binghamton University, Cornell University, colleges across this nation, which are pro-Hamas cells that have inspired students to become or declare themselves members of a terrorist organization. There is an inherent threat here. There is an inherent danger. Does that violate the First Amendment in the United States? I think it does. I think it does violate the First Amendment. And again, we should also remember, this is a game created in Brazil by a non-U.S. citizen. They aren't entitled to the benefits of the First Amendment. It's not inherent in their nationality, in their legal system. So they don't get the benefit of doubt that would normally come from an American citizen, an American developer, and a product developed in the United States. But I think this is terroristic. Now, do I think Congressman Torres did the right thing here? I don't think so. I think he created an opportunity for himself to gain more attention as he's seeking to run for the governor of New York. I think this was opportunistic. And I think that he has given more attention to something that was dead and was not gaining attention than it deserves. Of course, we should always denounce terror wherever it exists. That's true. And even if the terror isn't popular, it should still be denounced. But I think the repeated attacks, both on December 6th and on December 10th, have fueled interest in this game. And I fear that my coverage of this topic is also going to fuel some interest in the game. I hope not, because we denounce it, we deplore it. I do believe that this game, as created, is a tool of terrorism. It is meant to inspire terrorism. It is meant to promote terrorism. It is meant to support Hamas, a terrorist organization. And I do not support any of that. Perhaps it's very popular with those in Harvard or in Columbia or Cornell University. Maybe they're part of the 24 people who have found the game and support it. Maybe the Democratic Socialists of America and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib find this to be entertaining. I don't think anyone of sound mind would do so. And I denounce this game. I denounce its intent, which is to glorify massacres of civilians. I think that's evil. I think the intent of this game isn't fantasy, it is recruitment. And I think as a tool of recruitment, as a tool to glorify a terrorist organization, it does violate the First Amendment, that it does cause harm, that its mere existence and availability is something that is leading towards danger, a dangerous reaction around the world. Even though I believe in free speech, even though I believe that there is no such thing as hate speech, there is such a thing as inciting violence. There is crossing the line by supporting terrorism. That isn't free speech. That is violence. But I think he went about it the wrong way and led to glorification of this. And because there are tens of thousands of people who are now finding out about this game, now that there are people who are talking about this game, we must address it before it becomes a glorified fantasy and spreads through the dark recesses of the internet, before it can move forward, it needs to be shut down. Do I think this game should be removed from Steam in the United States? Yes. Yes, I do. There is no vagaries about this. This is very explicit. It was created and meant to attack a specific group of people, to incite violence against that specific group of people, and to support terrorism. It's very direct in its message. And in its update, to continue to express that terror and that support of terrorism. Therefore, I think it should be removed. I think Valve should remove this. But now I must ask you, my audience, what do you think? Should this be banned? Do you agree that propaganda in any form that promotes terrorism around the world, shouldn't that be shut down? Should we not have a defense against it, a wall, a protection from such vile evil? Or do you agree with Harvard and Columbia and Cornell University that terrorism is fine as long as it's politically acceptable by certain political ideologies? What do you think? Thank you so much for tuning into No Soundbites Allowed today. I'm the political dragon, Michael Voss, and I hope you've enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. Remember, on this podcast, we don't settle for sound bites. We dive deeper, challenge assumptions, and have the conversations that matter. If you liked today's show, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave us your comments. Your support helps us reach more people and continue to bring you the hard-hitting discussions you won't hear anywhere else. Follow me on the major social media platforms like X, Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, and more to stay updated on upcoming episodes and join the conversation live on our next live stream. We love hearing from you and we value every perspective. We stream live, responding to your chats and calls starting at 2:30 p.m. every Sunday. Until next time, this is Michael Voss, and you've been listening to No Soundbites Allowed. Stay informed, stay engaged, and as always, don't settle for the sound bites.